Excitement building here in Norman. Riverwind Casino, the site of the U.S. Open. Our quarterfinalists making their way into the arena, ready to get it on. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Norman, Oklahoma and Sooner Country for quarterfinal action here at the WPBA U.S. Open 9-ball championship. Mitch Lawrence alongside two-time U.S. Open champion, the striking Viking, Ava Mataya-Lawrence. Ava, it's been a fantastic week in Norman, quarterfinal action, and we have an intriguing matchup coming up between Pam Cimarelli, the former Tiger Tour Player of the Year, and Jeanette Lee, former U.S. Open champion, who is looking to get back to the winner's circle.
And you know what, Mitch? I really think this is going to be a great match. You have Pam Cimarelli on one hand, who has not played in a tournament for 2 years now. On the other hand, you have Jeanette Lee, the Black Widow. What can you say? She has won many, many titles, probably favored a little bit, but she has not won a tournament in 4 years.
Ava said probably favored to win. Don't let that fool you. Our two other semifinalists, Iris Ranola of the Philippines and Yuram Cha of Korea, neither one of them expected to be in that position. Anything can happen here in Norman. And a handshake to get it going. Jeanette Lee on the left, Pam Cimarelli on the right. Jeanette, born in New York, now living in Orlando, Florida. Pam Cimarelli, born in Michigan, now living in Philadelphia. And there's the lag, and Jeanette right away getting into her show. She will definitely make it entertaining.
Nice beginning.
We know that.
Right.
Pam Cimarelli, well, we'll see how she is able to handle it. That's going to be the story of this match. Our referee, Steve Tipton, getting our opening rack ready. And as Jeanette comes to the table for the opening break, here are the rules of the game. Cue ball, object balls 1 to 9. You have to hit the lowest numbered ball on the table first, and the rack is over when the 9 goes. And Ava, Jeanette obviously wants to establish control and presence in this match early, right from the get-go.
There's no question about it. She starts out strong here. She wins the lag and makes a great break. Everything works out perfectly. She has an open shot here on the 1. That's no problem. Come out 1 rail here out toward the center of the table for the 2 is right here. 3 being close to it. That should be no problem. Her main focus right now is getting the correct angle on the 3 to get to the 4. Most of these players will always think 2 or 3, sometimes 4 balls ahead. It depends on what the layout is, but you don't just play position for your next ball. You always try to move the cue ball around. And her key ball right now is that 4 to get the correct angle, like I said, to be able to get to the pink 4.
Good shot there. Quickly give you the rules of this match. It's a race to 7 to move to the semifinals. It's a 30-second shot clock with 1 extension per rack on the players. They'll alternate the break, and it will be foul on all balls.
And that could turn out to be something Jeanette has to really pay attention to. She has long hair, her hair is down, and any of the players that do playing on foul on all balls really have to pay attention, because all it takes is for 1 strand of hair to touch an object ball, not just a cue ball, but an object ball. Steve Tipton catches it, and it's foul and cue ball in hand anywhere on the table for the opponent. So it's something really to pay attention to and be aware of.
Yes, thank you. So,
Steve having a little word with Jeanette. And Abe, it's an interesting point. You can see her hair dangling there, right there. Not really that close to the 9, but anything that you have to pay particular attention to that's not ordinary has to be a distraction in certain ways. We'll see if any of this plays a part in this match. Jeanette moving fairly easily through this opening rack. But clearly not happy with this shape.
Well, the only thing, she's got a little bit more or a little bit less angle than she wanted. A little more angle, she could easily slam across and play the 8 in the same corner. A little bit less, and she had an easy way to go straight down and play the 8 in the side. And as you can see there, she almost missed that 7.
perfect.
It looked like it could have hung just as well as fall in.
just like I played it.
And Jeanette's trying to stay nice and loose here, Mitch. She hasn't been in this position for a while. And at the same time, I think that she is really letting some...
Oh, my gosh!
Oh, wow, Jeanette. You know what? That could just be one of those seconds of focus. She hasn't been here. It looked like she was just out here. She must have just taken her eye off the ball for 1 second. Unbelievably uncharacteristic miss by Jeanette. And what a chance for Pam to make herself and her presence here known.
Huge right off the bat. Pam Cimarelli, I'm sure, did not think she'd be getting to this table in this opening rack. This 9 for a 1-rack lead for Pam Cimarelli. On paper, it is indeed a long shot. Unheralded and unseeded Pam Cimarelli, away from championship 9-ball for almost 2 years, looking for her first trip to the semifinals of any Classic Tour event. Who stands in her way? The Black Widow, Jeanette Lee, former Player of the Year, multiple-time Tour winner, one of the most recognizable and talented players in the game. Who'll gain a sought-after semifinal spot? Whose dream ends today in the heartland of America?
This ESPN presentation of the WPBA US Open 9-Ball Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association is brought to you by Riverwind Casino. It's what winning feels like. By the American Pool Players Association, the largest amateur pool association in America. And by Brunswick Billiards since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world.
The beautiful Riverwind Casino in Norman, Oklahoma. Construction underway to make it an even better destination. New hotel, 88 standard rooms, 12 suites. Beautiful business center completed in November of 2008. Inside the Riverwind, fans awaiting rack number 2. Here's a look at our Pool Dog road to the finals. Unexpected semifinalists already in. Iris Renola of the Philippines, Yuram Cha of Korea. And Jeanette Lee, her week here in Norman, it's been a good one. 4 very dominating matches, a loss to Xiaoting Pan that sent her over to the loser side in double elimination portion of the event. But those wins over Tiffany Nelson and 2006 BCA Open champion Jasmine Ocean, very impressive. So Jeanette coming in on a high. Pam Cimarelli, obviously, also has played well. We'll get to her record in a little while, and that 11% scratch on the break, Ava, a very, very large number. We'll have to watch that.
It really is a large number. That's something that at this level should be a complete kind of fluke when it happens. And maybe that's why she's not breaking very hard, Mitch. She's trying to get a good solid hit on that 1, but she's not putting a lot of power into it. She's left Jeanette a shot here in the corner on the 1, and I think she's going to try to get for the 2-5 combo. She doesn't have an angle to get between the 2 and the 5 to play in the 2 in the corner. But I think she can get over just fine. A little high right. Get all the way down the table and come over for as straight as she can on this combination. Great shot, good speed. And this is definitely the key shot in this rack this far, Mitch. If you look at the 2-5 combination, not just making it, but you got to really pay attention to get a shot after this. The 9-ball is a big ball right there. She has to float the cue ball down a little bit. The 2 squirts off to the right side at all. Yeah, she wanted to go ahead and just hit it. I'm not quite sure what that was. Perhaps she just decided to go for the safety. Perhaps she just hit it poorly. She looks pretty happy with that outcome, so I'm guessing that she went ahead and said, forget it, I don't want to play the combo. I'm just going to send that cue ball down to the end rail. Either way, whatever her intentions were, Pam is faced with a tough kick here. Difficult to judge this 2-rail kick. Yep, too short. I'll tell you what, Mitch, when it's this humid in the room as it is right here, the rails are going to play a little bit shorter than they normally would. That one, she looked like she overplayed it a little bit. But it's something to keep in mind when the rails are wet like this, they'll come up short.
Pam Cimarelli takes a seat up 1-0. She had a chance to take advantage of a Jeanette mistake early. Let's see how Jeanette does. We're going to have a word now from Allison Fisher, who is with us down on the floor. She's got a word with Melissa Little, who earlier faced Jeanette Lee. Allison?
So, Melissa, what are you expecting from this match? We've got Jeanette Lee versus Pam Cimarelli.
Well, it's a tough one. I really couldn't say because I'm definitely friends with both of them. I wish them both luck, but you know, it just depends on the way the balls are going to roll today. Jeanette is a veteran player rather than Pam is definitely treacherous, and her game is definitely up there today, especially in this tournament. I'm rooting for both of them, but I would like to see Pam win just because, you know, Jeanette's been out there so many times.
Yeah, it's boring, really. Thanks very much.
Interesting perspective. And as I said, we're glad to have Allison with us. But 2 and out is historic. The 4-time and defending U.S. Open champion knocked out by back-to-back losses to Iris Renola, one of our semifinalists, and Sarah Rousey. And Jeanette working her way through rack number 2. And she has a little bit more of a serious kind of look on her face now, doesn't she, Ava, than you saw earlier? I think what you said about not being out as much as she used to be and kind of fighting to get back to the winner's circle, all that, we know she's not really nervous about being out there. She's done it before, but there's got to be some butterflies getting out on the floor.
There is, and she was trying to be loose and happy and show how confident and kind of put a little fear into Pam, but the way to put fear into your opponent is by winning and running out, and she is back down to business.
And you saw the result of that kind of serious change in Jeanette Lee. We are tied at 1 here in Norman. The absolutely gorgeous Riverwind Casino in Norman, Oklahoma, site of the U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship, presented by the American Pool Players Association. And Ava, we want to take a look at both of these terrific players' breaks, obviously important here in Norman.
It is, and other than the fact that they both break from the side rail, that is about the only thing that's really similar about this. Watch when Jeanette comes through here. She's up already, where Pam is still all the way down, almost like when she was shooting a regular shot. Now here's the biggest difference. Jeanette is literally off the floor. Her cue is bent as she follows through, and Pam doesn't even kick back with her leg. She plays more of a much softer break. Jeanette gets much more power into it. We'll see if that plays on the outcome of this match.
Let's take a look at the highlights from rack number 3. Jeanette at the break. We were tied at 1 apiece.
And Jeanette hit the balls hard but failed to make anything. That brought up this safety battle going back and forth. Jeanette comes with a really good save here. Nice touch getting that cue ball up behind the 5. Pam comes with this jump shot, almost makes the 1, but back and forth they go. Some ugly misses brought them to this point where Pam was able to capitalize by making the 9-ball and getting it to 2 games to 1.
And here we are moving into rack number 4. Pam Cimarelli with the break. Let's see how she chooses to go about that one. Nothing on the break in her first attempt. This one better, Ava.
Well, you see, she really hit those softly, and it worked for her this time. 3 balls on the break, and she has an open shot at the 1, Mitch, right here in the corner. Cue ball can go 1, 2 rails, and back up for the 2 in the side. She has the 3 right there, 5 passes. She could be in good shape to get a good hold of this match here if she keeps her head down. You just have to make sure to make this 1, play the speed for the 2 rail position. See what a long stroke she takes.
Ooh, overcut that one.
She did, but she did miss it on the pro side, which means you overcut it rather than undercut it. If she undercuts that shot, hits the one ball, in other words, a little too thick, she would have left a sellout for Jeanette. But by missing it, by hitting it too thin, Jeanette now has a tall order and a lot of work to play a safety here.
Wonder what's going on in Pam's mind. Not in this position too often. It's been 2 years since she's been on the WPBA Tour. We'll get to that story in a little bit as Jeanette lines this up. Try to play a safety here. And as we wait for the shot to finish, let's go back down to the floor. Allison Fisher down there with one of the great players on tour.
And I'm here with Kim Shaw from England, a 9th place finish in the US Open and losing to Pam Cimarelli. Kim, do you want to tell us a little bit about that match?
Going into the match, throughout the tournament I was playing well. I had a couple of close matches, 2 9-8 wins, which I felt very good. Under pressure, I held it together. So going into the match, I was very confident. I know Pam's a great player. She's young, she's fearless, but I was still confident about my game. And at the end, she just played better than I did. I take my hat off to her.
So what do you think about this match? We've got Jeanette Lee versus Pam Cimarelli.
I think if she holds it together, I know Pam's had one TV match under her belt already. If she holds it together, she's got a good chance of doing really well in this tournament, yeah.
All right, well, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allison. Thanks, Kim. Jeanette at the table trying to work out this rack. Goes for the safety there, Abe. I don't know if she got it.
No, she tried to hit it a little bit thicker than this, Mitch, to knock that one ball down over towards the center of the end rail. And then the cue ball down. She hit it so thin that you could see it. It stayed right there. Cue ball goes up and down. And she almost got a bit of a roll here by getting behind those balls. But I think she left an open shot for Pam here. You can see right there the way she's cueing it. Yeah, and all she has to do here is make this with some center ball, go straight across, maybe back a little bit for the 2.
You mentioned that long stroke before. You can really get a chance to see it. Very long, flowing stroke by Pam Cimarelli, and a lot of warm-ups, a lot of backstroke warm-ups.
She does, and everybody has their own, special style, but she does that even on a shorter shot or a softer shot. A lot of players like to adjust that a little bit and take the backstroke the way they're going to do on the actual shot. Pam has found her style, though, and she is perfect, obviously, on this 3. It's sitting right in the side pocket, and the 5-9 is sitting awfully pretty. Usually players like going for that out, but, Mitch, that 5-9 has to be way too tempting for her to do anything but.
Talented shot maker. We mentioned she was the Tiger Tour Player of the Year, and also that she has been away for 2 years. Had a child a couple of years ago and is between 3 and 4 months pregnant right now. So 2 years after her last appearance in the US Open, as a matter of fact, here she is. This 5-9 would be for a 3-1 lead. Beautifully done. Very, very good work by Pam Cimarelli. The Black Widow seated down by 2 racks. And all she can do is watch as this rack comes to an end. Let us learn a little bit more about Pam Cimarelli behind the cue.
Obviously, I'm a really offensive player. I have a lot of heart and a lot of desire. And I always try my best, and I never give up, ever. But I want to win. My dad, he said, I always told you you could do it, but you never give yourself a chance. He said, I hope this will change your mind, and you start giving yourself a chance to compete with the best in the world all the time, consistently. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be where I'm at today. But I haven't been back. It's been 2 years now. It's kind of like riding a bike. It's just a matter of putting it in your head and believing in yourself that you can. If you do that, you'll go further than what you think, I think. And I'm proud of myself.
Wise words from 21-year-old Pam Cimarelli, trying to get to the semifinals of the United States Open 9-Ball Championship.
If you ever wonder how Chao Ting Pan has such a perfect, flawless stroke, here's a little insight to how she practices and perfects the follow-through on her cue. Chao Ting?
To have a straight and steady stroke, this is what I do. Take an empty bottle and practice like this.
Any part of that bottle moves at all, and you know the delivery of the cue stick wasn't quite straight. That's tougher to do than it looks. Thank you, Chao Ting. And that is the Q-Tech-Q tip of the day.
And a great tip it was from the second-ranked player in the world, Chao Ting Pan. Quarterfinal action at the U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association. And as we get ready to move into rack 6, here are the highlights from rack 5, Ava. Jeanette Lee at the break.
And a good break it was. Let go of the cue ball a little bit, but she managed to make 2 balls on the break. She started a run, but this 6th ball overcuts it in the side pocket, and Pam, steady as ever, looks like she was going to take advantage, misses that 9 ball. Jeanette misses back, and Pam gets unbelievably a second chance at it.
And you saw that look of kind of consternation on the face of Jeanette Lee, shaking her head, what's going on? And what is going on is 4-1 over Jeanette Lee, Pam Cimarelli. And Jeanette has got to be a little shocked right now. Can Pam Cimarelli keep it going?
Well, not this time she's not. No ball on the break. And Jeanette has an open shot making the 1 ball here. She wants to get right towards the center of the table right there for the 2. Bit of a cluster on the other side of the table with a 4, 6, 7, 9. But right now all Jeanette is concentrating on is making this 1 and getting the cue ball towards the center of the table to get a shot at the 2.
There goes the 1, Ava. You know, in the highlights we mentioned that the shots were missed, balls are jarred, and one of the reasons this Brunswick Tournament Edition Gold Crown 5, tight pockets. And you better be perfect with your shot making.
Absolutely. And Jeanette needs to slice this in. It's a touchy little position shot to come across. Good shot making that 2. She got a little bit of a helpful nudge on the 3 ball where she could just as well have ended up with no shot, but she has almost straight in angle. This is a bit of a cluster on the other side of the table, but I believe that 4 ball goes into the corner pocket, no problem. Past the 6 and 7. No, you know what? The way she's looking at it now, Mitch, it looks like she has to go for a 3 ball combo. And that is not an easy shot. 2 ball combo tough enough, 3 balls, you really have to be dead on.
Close.
Nope.
And a good try. As Ava said, very difficult.
Oh, she just overcut the 4 a little bit. And because she was obviously going for the offensive shot there, she's left, instead of herself, she's left Pam with a shot at the 4. And Jeanette's trying to figure out what is going wrong right now for her to be down to 4 games to 1. She's been playing really strong this tournament, but so has Pam.
Shot on the 4. And no reason to believe that Pam Cimarelli can't do something special. Our 2 semifinalists already in. Iris Renola and Yuram Cha knocked off the top 4 ranked players in the world to get to the semifinals. Tough shot here for Pam. Needs to keep this going. Easy stroke, no. Wow.
Pam started out the match leading 4-1 and looking quite comfortable out there, and for some reason now she's looking a bit shaky and tentative. And I think from my experience, you know, when things start to turn, the opponent gets a few rolls and you get a little negative thoughts coming into your mind, it takes a lot to get out of that and snap back into the game.
There's no question about that. And even though she won the last game, Jeanette gave her back on that 9 ball. The fact that she missed the 9 kind of reminds you of that everything isn't just right there. And it also gives Jeanette a little bit of confidence. She does see a crack in the armor a little bit. And we'll see if that's going to play on the outcome of this match.
It just happens like that.
But Jeanette's disappointed here. She should have been much closer to this shot on the 6. This is a huge, huge shot for her right here.
I'll tell you what, that was a very confident stroke by Jeanette Lee. Perfect. You know, Allison alluded to it, you can sometimes really feel momentum changing in a match. A short race. Jeanette doesn't look happy, Ava, but I'll tell you what, she has got to be pleased with what has been going on in this rack.
There's no question, and I think Jeanette's just trying to fight her way there right now. If something doesn't feel 100%, she would like to have this angle or that angle and a little closer to her work. She's a perfectionist. She plays a great pattern, great position. But sometimes, if you don't feel good, the people that win are the ones that can work through it, muddle through those times, and then play the flawless pool later when it seems available.
And she should be excited. Gets back to within 2 racks against Pam Cimarelli. And now it's time for some trivia, brought to you as always by Simonis. Which WPBA Tour pro nearly lost her career after an animal attack?
In 2004, I was sidelined for 6 months due to a severe dog bite injury. Ouch.
The annual APA National Team Championships held last month at the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, where they've been since 1992. This year, more than 15,000 APA members participated in championships for over $1 million in prize money.
Teams and players qualify for the National Team Championship based on their participation during the league year. Top teams from each division qualify to participate in a local team championship each year, and then the top teams at that event are the ones that get to go to Las Vegas and play at the Nationals.
That's what's so special about the National Team Championships. You can have people from really all walks of life. You can have doctors, you can have housewives, construction workers, firefighters, lawyers, all of whom have come together through this common bond of playing pool. And because of the equalizer scoring system, despite their various degrees of skill, they can really all compete equally on a grand stage like this for thousands of dollars in prize money.
This year we awarded over $1 million at our national championships throughout the period of time we were out there. We know we have over 15,000 people that came out and played. What we estimated based on what we saw at the event was that there was at least another 10,000 APA members that came out just to enjoy all the fun that takes place during that 10 days during Vegas.
Back inside the Riverwind Casino, quarterfinal action, Jeanette Lee and Pam Cimarelli. And as we get ready to move to rack 8, we are going to give you the highlights from rack number 7. Ava?
Well, after a fruitless break here by Jeanette, it looks like the one ball is at least going to go, but no, it hangs up. And Pam has that shot open situation. She does not take advantage. They get into a bit of a safety war that is won by Jeanette. And she really looks steady here, Mitch. The 3, the 4, all the way, the 7, and a great spin shot. Got a little bit out of line here on the 9, banks it in and gets it within 1.
And that is what Jeanette Lee desperately needed. Now the crowd back into it. Jeanette back into it, certainly, and Pam Cimarelli still with a 1-rack lead on the break, but she knows she's in for it now. Action heating up here in Oklahoma.
Well, you can see Pam put a lot more power into that break than she has been, but still not enough. Nothing goes on the break. Luckily for her, Jeanette has the 9 ball right here in between the 1 and the cue ball. And I don't think she can hit even a sliver of it to play a safety, so it looks like Jeanette's going to have to push out. And I think she's going to go ahead and push out to a place here, Mitch, to a situation where Pam has to kick at the 1. You can see right there, it's a smart shot. Both of these players know how to control a kick shot like that when the 1 is that close to the rail. You don't want to leave an open shot at the 1 ball, because then somebody can really play a strong safety. But here, at least, she wants to hit half this ball A lot of left spin, sending the cue ball one side, the one to the other, and she hit that really well.
Nice job by 21-year-old Pam Cimarelli. A lot of knowledge for a young player. Certainly Jeanette, tons of knowledge. Plays all games, has for a while. Takes advantage of the wisdom. See what she can do.
Nice shot. Watch if she can get the cue ball. Oh, look at this. Look at this shot.
How pretty is this? Look where that's going to wind up.
Perfect.
Whoa.
Perfect. You can see it right here. Just the right side on that one, which is tough enough to do with so much distance between the cue ball and the one, and then to have the touch to land it right on the dime behind the 3 ball. And I'll tell you what, Pam has such a tall order to even hit the one here. She's not even going to try. She's going to take an intentional foul, try to tie something up. And that's not what you wanted to do. See, even a shot like that, you have to pay attention. She took an intentional foul knowing she was going to give ball in hand to Jeanette. But her idea, what she needed to do was make it more difficult for Jeanette to run out. She needed to have that 4 ball lock up against the 8. And instead, the 4 ball will pass into the corner pocket when she gets a chance.
And that worried face you saw just a second ago was Vinny, Pam Cimarelli's husband. He has been sweating big time. It's his first experience. Watch out. His first experience with sweating in a major, that's for sure. And that is where the shot clock will come into play. Just like that, Jeanette had to make that shot. Almost scratched in the side, but instead, look where she wound up. Perfect on the 2, Ava.
She came out smelling like a rose. That could have gone very badly. And not only that did she not scratch, but the cue ball hit the point, and it slowed it down perfectly to get in the exact position she would have put the cue ball with the ball in hand. So far, everything worked out just fine. Jeanette's going to take her built-in extension out that she has in her cue.
Some technology working there.
And everything is pretty much right there. I mean, as long as she is not straight in on this 4, which it looks like she has plenty of angle. She's nodding a little bit like she's not thrilled with where it is, but I think she should be just fine. Try to come out a little bit for the 5. Well done. Look out, 9. Perfect.
Nice. And that's where you were talking about it. Pam had locked her up at that point with the 5 and the 8 on the rail and made that shot a lot more difficult, having to play a combination or something else. Jeanette would not be able to get through this rack the way she is right now.
Exactly. She would have had to try to break up the 4-8, and if that was the case, things could have worked. Oh, Jeanette. Oh, you're kidding me.
Hello. Hello.
And ladies and gentlemen, that counts. Even though she obviously did not call that 9, nobody, including Jeanette, saw that coming. But in 9-ball, it counts. You make a legal hit on the lowest number ball on the table, in this case, the 5. Anything that goes counts, including that 9-ball for the win. Wow.
And if you are Pam Cimarelli, you have to just be a little bit shell-shocked. A half a minute ago, it seems, she was up 4-1, and now we are tied at 4 in a race to 7 to move into the semifinals of the U.S. Open in Oklahoma. The fantastic Riverwind Casino in Norman, Oklahoma. We have been thrilled to be here again this week for the U.S. Open 9-ball championship. And a look at 16 players. Our top 16 have had tremendous weeks. Among them, Dawn Hopkins. Here's a word with Dawn, brought to you by Mueller.
Well, I finished 9th in the tournament, and to me, I feel pretty good because it's not about the individual tournament and how I finish, it's how I'm doing consistently through the year. I've been in the top 16 for over 15 years, and that's what I'm proud about. Hopefully in the next tournaments coming up, I'll be able to finish in the top 16 or better, and that's what I look forward to, staying up there consistently.
The excitement inside the Riverwind. We are tied at 4. Pam Cimarelli's week so far in Norman And after a 2-year layoff, really, from competitive pool on the WPBA Tour, what a showing. Bouncing back from an early round loss to Sarah Ellerby with 4 match victories to get to the quarterfinals. And right now, 4 apiece, race to 7. And that's a big stat right there, Ava. Game's won on your own break, not necessarily a break and run, but it kind of shows your staying power, your willingness to get in there and fight out a rack, whether you break and run or not. Jeanette's done a great job of it this week. Watch out, watch out.
Well, it's going to be tough to win this rack from there, Mitch. Give him ball in hand, wide open table right there. 1, 2 ball, the 4. 4 could be a little bit interesting, Mitch. The 1 ball, obviously, with ball in hand, not that much of a problem there. Getting to the 2, but the 4 ball is going to be the problem, getting to the 6. The angle she's going to need to have. She doesn't necessarily, she's playing, I don't know, not crazy about her playing it here. She has to get so perfect on this 4 ball, pretty much exactly where the cue ball is now, and then hit it with a lot of right spin to be able to have a chance to get the angle to get down to the 6. This is what they're like, almost millimeter, down to millimeters to get to where she can have a shot at the 4, but at the same time not too far to where she snookers herself.
This is such a critical rack. She was up 4-1. Jeanette has 3 racks in a row to get back to even. Pam wants to break that momentum and put together something special here, get back on top in a race to 7. Next couple shots, critical.
Stops in time, she might have a chance. Oh, that look right there says it all. She did not leave herself enough of a shot. She's going to have to play it safe here, Mitch. She can only see at best half of the 4, and even if she were to jump this 4 ball in, the cue ball is not going to be going towards the 6. So she can reach it. She might go for the jump. If not, she's going to have to play safe. What? Well, she kind of took a flyer at something and almost scratches, almost makes the 9, but look at the result here. She left a 4-9 for Jeanette. That was kind of one of those where she seemed a little bit disgusted. I don't know if she just couldn't find a safety. I'm very surprised at that move right there.
But look what it left for Jeanette, and back-to-back racks. That Jeanette has had an opportunity to end them quickly. The previous rack, the luck in with the 9, but this one, no mistake about it. Hanging in the corner, and the Black Widow with her 4th rack in a row, and now, for the first time, a lead in this quarterfinal for Jeanette Lee.
This ESPN presentation of the WPBA US Open 9-Ball Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association is brought to you by Brunswick. Brunswick Billiards since 1845. The standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world. By the American Pool Players Association, the largest amateur pool association in America. And by Q-Tech, serious cues for serious players, and choice of the world's most dominant player.
As we get ready to move to rack 11, here's some highlights from rack 10. Pam Cimarelli with the break, Ava.
Great, powerful break by Pam. She avoided the scratch. Didn't get an open shot, but played a really good safety here. Won the battle to miss that shot on the 2. That's inexcusable. Jeanette jumps up, does what she needs to do. She didn't like one of her shots. She pulled it out, makes the 9, and she has a real grip on this match. It's 6 games to 4.
And that was 5 racks in a row now for Jeanette Lee. And she has the break here in rack 11. It's exactly what she wants. 16th ranked coming into this event, and she wants to obviously move that ranking up. Pam Cimarelli unranked coming in.
Well, another good break by Jeanette, but she's forced to play a safety. It looks like she's going to send the 1 ball into the 8, sending the cue ball down to the other side of the table. She'd love to straighten it out a little bit and get behind the 7 and 3 if she can. Just a thin hit here. You see she's cueing it with some right spin. Oh, not quite where she wanted, but the fact that the 1 ball stayed up there, at least she did not leave a shot for Pam.
Pam Cimarelli knows what it's like to come back in 2006. She finished 5th at the US Open, lost her first match, came back to finish 5th, beating Kelly Fisher along the way in that one. Question is, can she do it now against Jeanette Lee? Let's go back down to the floor and have a word with Allison Fisher. Allison?
Game 8 was a big turning point. Jeanette Lee had a straight-in 5 ball and somehow missed the 5 ball, fluked the 9 in the corner, and that has to play tricks on Pam's mind.
I don't think there's any question about it, Allison, and also pumped Jeanette up quite a bit from there. She came with a bit of a curve shot there to make contact on the 1, almost made it. And I tell you what, Pam really has to dig deep to be able to get out of the state of mind and the emotional roller coaster she's gone through in this match.
This has been an incredibly physical and a tough week for Pam Cimarelli. Almost 4 months pregnant. Getting to this quarterfinal match. Nice shot. Let's see where the cue ball winds up. Getting to this quarterfinal match, she told us she had blisters on her feet from playing so many matches in a row to get to the quarterfinals, and especially that last match she had against Kim Shaw that she won 9-6 was really a test for Pam Cimarelli. So if she seems a little bit fatigued, Ava, it would make sense to me. 4 months pregnant and playing the best players in the world in the US Open, got to take it out of you.
There's no question about it. I played through 8 months pregnant, and I'll tell you what, it hurts your back, your feet swell up, your shoes all of a sudden. She had to borrow one of the other players' shoes, actually, because hers were too tight. And when you're on your feet that much, anybody who's been 4 months pregnant know exactly what that feels like. And she must be so proud of herself. But she did this last time she was pregnant also.
That's right.
And she was much more pregnant than she is now in beating up on all the top players. Nice little touch shot by Jeanette. Oh, even though she double kissed it, got a little bit of a roll, but she hit it really well. Nice safety there. And I tell you what, Pam's in a world of mess here, Mitch. Trying to hit this. I don't know if she can pop it, if she has a jump cue where she can just pop it over, that's a chance. But trying to kick at this, she has to hit this such perfect stroke.
No.
Tall order there, tough to do. And Jeanette with ball in hand now. I don't think she has an open shot on this 3 to run out, but she could really lock up Pam in this situation just by hitting the cue ball into the 3, sending the 3 ball down this way and sticking the cue ball right there, freezing it against the 9. And that's as good of a lockup as you need, and chances are she'll get ball in hand from there. And Pam's got a tough way to go to get out of this mess, Mitch.
And you could see when Pam walked back to her seat, just a little bit of dejection now. It's almost like she's sensing as this draws closer. Jeanette on the hill at 6-4. And as Ava said, a lot of work cut out for Pam to stay in this one.
Yeah, she has to go 2 rails here. Try to judge it, a 2-rail kick. Obviously, I like her chances of hitting it, but to make it from there, she needs to get lucky or make it. Oh, and how about that shot? No, you're kidding.
And you saw even Jeanette Lee's reaction there. She feels badly. You're right, that was a great shot.
And Jeanette gave her props right there. That was a Really well played shot. A hair too thick of a hit. Impossible to judge, and she scratches, and Jeanette has a chance to take this match. And what a comeback, Mitch. I tell you what, I know that Pam has missed some shots. Jeanette has gotten out of a few tricky situations, but to be down 4-1 and then win 6 games in a row from there is really strong, whoever you are at this stage of the game.
And you know what? We can't take anything away from Pam Cimarelli. This has been a fantastic week. This one is not over. There's still some work to be done. 7, 8, and 9 left. But for Jeanette, this year proving to be a good one. Started out the year in San Diego with a 49th place finish, 2 and out there. Very unusual for the Black Widow. But then 5th at the Women's World 9-Ball, 9th at the GenerationPool.com, and 5th at the Great Lakes Classic. So she has been moving in the right direction. And with these 2 balls on the table, she will be guaranteed a 3rd place finish at least here at the U.S. Open, which would tie her best finish on tour in 3 years. So Jeanette obviously coming on strong, and we cannot say enough about Pam Cimarelli and the work she's put in after a 2-year layoff to get to the quarters of the U.S. Open against the best players in the world. The props that Jeanette just gave her, watch out, watch out. Woo. The props that Jeanette gave Pam, well deserved. We want to congratulate Pam, her husband Vinny, her dad Tom, everybody watching back in Philadelphia and Michigan. But this one is going to belong to the Black Widow.
Yes!
And a reason to be happy for Jeanette Lee. Into the semifinals she goes. Letting her enjoy the moment. Fans loving it. Here's our updated Pool Dog Road to the finals. 3 of our 4 semifinalists set. Jeanette will meet the winner of the Vivian Villarreal Kelly Fisher quarterfinal. And now it's time for our turning point of the match, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. Actually, 2 turning points. Rack number 6, Pam Cimarelli at the table, up 4-1 at that point, and a miss there. And now we move into rack 7, where Pam missed a 2-ball. Both of them proved costly. Jeanette Lee would go on to win. And here, down on the floor, is Ava.
Mitch, I am here with a very relieved, I'm guessing, Jeanette Lee. Jeanette, that was, you started out really slow in the match. She played very powerful. You made some major misses, and then everything seemed like it just fell into place and went right for you after that.
That's right. I mean, I really was very comfortable into the match, and then I feel like I was careless more than anything. I wasn't real nervous, and I don't feel like I took her for granted. I know Pam can play. So I really went in there focused, and then somehow I just kept taking my eye off the ball. It was like I just had trouble focusing, which usually is a strength of mine.
Well, congratulations, and we will be looking for Jeanette to play in the semifinals. Back to you, Mitch.
And as Jeanette picks up Cheyenne, she will indeed meet the winner of this quarterfinal matchup, Vivian Villarreal and Kelly Fisher. Both of them trying to get to the semifinals here in Norman, Oklahoma. It's been a great week so far. No reason to think it won't continue. This one all about Jeanette Lee's comeback. 6 racks in a row to close it out against Pam Cimarelli. For Allison Fisher and Ava Mattia Lawrence, I'm Mitch Lawrence. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.